Hi, my name is Maria Bourgeois and I want to welcome you to the Fredericton Region Museum. So today I'm going to introduce you to some COVID historical characters, and they're going to be COVID because you're going to see some masks. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the music that I've composed for some of the exhibitions at the museum. So come follow me and welcome. Hi, so I'm going to introduce you to Dorit Hacker at age 8. Dorit Hacker was an Austrian Jew born in 1923. By 1933, the Nazis achieved 37% of the vote during the elections, and Hitler became the chancellor of the coalition government. By 1938, Dorit was expelled from school because she was a Jew. By 1939, she left Austria via Kindertransport to join her mother in London, England. By 1944, she met soldier Hedley Nash, who was a black Maliseet man from New Brunswick. They met at a dance competition at the Trocadero in London, which they won, and 6 months later they were married. So by 1946, Dorit arrived at Pier 1 in Halifax with her daughter Diane, eventually to arrive in New Brunswick. Dorit and Hedley Nash were one of the first interracial couples in Fredericton. All right, today we're going to get a sneak peek at an upcoming exhibition. Welcome, everyone. So I'm going to introduce you again to Stanford's Friend, and this upcoming exhibition is about Stanton Friedman. And he was a professional ufologist and a nuclear physicist. And he worked for some rather large companies like GE and Westinghouse. And by 1958, he became interested in UFOs. So by 1967, he began lecturing for 600 colleges, 100 professional companies in 50 states, 10 Canadian provinces, and 18 other countries, and he also wrote some books. Introducing Maud Carson. During World War I, over 40 million lives were lost, and during the Spanish flu, in only half the time, we lost about 50 million people. So William Carson married Maud Cornish in December of 1917. By the following May, William brought his bride back to Holtville, New Brunswick to live with his family. By November the 4th, William's father died from the Spanish flu, and then the whole household was struck with the influenza. By November 6th, Maud, while she was giving birth to their son Jim, had the influenza, and by November 12th, her husband William passed away, and 2 days later, Maud passed away, leaving their only child Jim as an orphan. And let's introduce Bliss Carman. Now, Bliss Carman was a poet from Fredericton. He was born in 1861 and he died in 1929. He lived most of his life in the United States, where he achieved international fame. In his later years, he became known as a poet laureate for Canada. Carman was classed as one of the Confederation poets. So this piece, called Pipes of Pan, is one of his poems that I put music to, and it tells the story of the god Pan, who fell in love with the nymph Syrinx. But it was an unrequited love, and she was the daughter of the river god. So Syrinx pleaded with the god Zeus to help her, and when Pan finally captured her, Zeus changed her into some reeds. And not thinking, Pan smashed the reeds. But later, when he was crying remorsefully over the reeds, he discovered that his breath made a sound through them. And then he created the instrument that was to carry forever the sound of the voice of his lost love. And so I'd like to introduce you to Joseph Gaudin. Now, in 1759, the Point Saint Anne, which was an Acadian village thought to be located in downtown Fredericton, was destroyed by the British. And the Acadian expulsion took place during the 7 Years' War, and it began in 1655. And as part of the St. John River campaign, Lieutenant Hazen went to Point St. Anne and destroyed 147 buildings and massacred many of the Acadians there, including part of Joseph's family. They tied Joseph Godin and his son Michel to trees and forced them to watch the brutal murder of his daughter and 3 of his grandchildren. And 2 of the family members escaped, carrying the other 2 grandchildren into the woods. So now I'm going to sing the song, Wind Song for you, which is about that piece. My name is Joseph Godin, des belles fontaines, des beaux jours, the first child born in Saint-Anne-Pays-de-Bas. I farmed the land, I fished the shore. We knew the British could come. We readied ourselves for the winter cold. We did not know we'd be overcome. And the wind blew cold, the wind blew cold. Hear the cry of the women and the children shouting out. Hear the cry of the wind song, and the cold wind blows about. To their cruel British king we were to swear allegiance. We refused to swear to that king. They burned our homes, destroyed our lands. Hear the cry of the women and the children shouting out. Hear the cry of the wind song, and the cold wind blows about. They killed my beautiful Nastasie and 3 children so brutally. We took 2 others in the woods to flee. Cold, cold wind, cruel humanity. Hear the cry of the women and the children shouting out. Hear the cry of the wind song, and the cold wind blows about. Hear the cry of the women and the children shouting out. Hear the cry of the wind song, and the cold wind blows about. And the cold wind blows about. So goodbye, and thank you very much for coming to visit us virtually at the museum. Take care. Stay safe.